anything? Or no?
What?
Does the microphone add anything?
Yeah, production value.
All right. Is it recording?
Yeah. Well,
But
take it away and try.
don't hold it so close
Yeah.
to your mouth.
Yeah.
We can't see your mouth, and your
My mouth.
mouth's a big
Well,
sound.
if you can't see my mouth, then you really can't hear it through the microphone either.
The microphone is doing nothing for
The
the
microphone's
sound.
doing nothing. The microphone's a prop.
Yeah.
So that I can work with the microphone.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up? How are we doing this evening? You're too generous. Hey, tell you what, people are saying that we've got a new pope. I don't know about you guys, that guy looks pretty old to me. Yeah. Tall people always get asked the stupidest questions, like, how's the weather up there? Me, I stick to the important stuff, like, is it a problem with your thyroid? What's the name of your condition? And what's the life expectancy for someone with it? Are your kids gonna be freaks as well? I'm a curious guy. I really wish that I could have seen the first guy that wore a baseball hat for fashion. I would have given that guy shit. I would have said, hey pal, home plate's that way. I would have said, hey man, umpire called, foul ball. I would have taken my testicles and touched him and said, you're out. Yeah. My girlfriend broke up with me. She said that I was a condescending, sociopathic narcissist. Sure is a long way of saying that I cheated on her, but man, that girl always loved to talk. Yeah. Hey, look. Look, guys. Look, the truth is, look, I do a lot of PowerPoint at work, a lot of work in PowerPoint. That makes me wish I had the power to point a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger. But really, mental health is no joke, and you shouldn't joke about it. For a while, I thought that I might be schizophrenic, but I actually learned last night that I'm fine. You see, God told me I'm actually a genius. I told you they'd like that one. Yeah. Hey, tell you what though, there was actually an incident up in the city last night. A couple of clowns set off a car bomb outside of City Hall. It was crazy. 40 people died, including 3 outside of the vehicle. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Speaking of terrorists, who wants to see my Luigi Mangione impression? You guys want to? All right, here it goes. No, it's really, you shouldn't joke about it. He really, oh, did it die? He really did a lot. He fought against the capitalists. No, I'm serious. He was a good. Yeah, they're gonna fry him. Anyway, man, these spam texts are getting ridiculous. Are you guys getting texts from all these spammers? Yeah, they're getting kind of clever. You see, they've been pretending to be my girlfriend recently. So all day I get these texts at the office. It's like, hey, how are you doing? What are you up to? Why aren't you responding to me? They even managed to send them from her phone number. It's kind of crazy. Well, I got home last night and she was pissed off. She said, you didn't respond to me all day. And I realized that I had been a complete idiot and I'd forgotten to pay her that week. No wonder she was so mad at me, guys. Yeah. Anyway, after work, I love getting stuck in traffic. Traffic is the name of the woman that lives downstairs from me. I'm kidding. Her name's not Traffic. I just call her that so I can make this joke. I hate liars! Yeah. We live in a flake culture. Nobody wants to do anything. Everybody's always canceling things before they even start, but not me. When my friends want to go out to dinner, I'm always the first one to figure out where we're going, call up the restaurant, and make a detailed bomb threat against the owner and their families. It's the night in, and we're all playing Monopoly. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. My friends are always telling me, they're whining. They say, John, I don't have any executive function. I don't know how to make decisions. I want a book that tells me how to live my life and what I should value. And I say, guys, that book already exists. It's called the Bible by Jesus Christ. You should check it out sometime. All right. Time for a thought experiment. I want you to imagine that someone is sitting on your face all day and farting. And moreover, I want you to imagine that this is unpleasant for you. This is what we put chairs through every day. If there's one part of our life that could kill us, it'd probably be them if they decided to rise up. It's fucked up. Another thing that's fucked up is wood chips. You know how we plant trees and wood chips? You don't see us going around burying people up to their ankles and shredded up people, do you? It would probably cause long-lasting psychological trauma, much like my childhood, which was really rough. I grew up on the wrong side of the train tracks. That is to say, I grew up under them. I was raised by moles. Yeah. I always was hateful and spiteful of the kids who were raised by wolves because they killed and ate my parents. Yeah. Hey, the revolution will not be televised, but you can stream it on Hulu for $13.99 or $17.99 with ads. I went to the airport. You guys ever been to the airport?
Airport?
Yeah, we all love airports. I went to the airport, and I'll tell you what, these flight attendants are getting awfully smart. I was in the back of the plane riding in coach, and I was cold, and I wanted a blanket. So I went up to the front, and I said, "Hi, can I have a blanket, please?" And the flight attendant said, "Blankets are for first-class passengers only." And I was feeling pretty confident. I was pretty well-dressed. I said, "How can you tell I'm not first class?" And she said, "You don't have a blanket, idiot." Then I landed at the next airport. I had to make a connecting flight. It's where your flights connect. And I had to put my bag down so I could go to the bathroom and brush my teeth. And I said to the woman who was sitting there, a woman, not the woman, a woman, I said, "Hey, sorry, could you please watch my bags?" And she said, "Yeah," and smiled at me. It was pretty nice. And so I went to the bathroom and came back and my bags are gone. I said, "Excuse me, what happened to my bags?" She said, "Oh yeah, a guy came up and picked them up and walked away." And I said, "What were you doing?" And she said, "Oh, I was watching them." And I said, "You idiot, that guy's gonna blow up the wrong plane." Yeah, how about that? Yeah, I actually know the difference. Not many people do this, but I actually know the difference between a stalactite, a stalagmite, and a stalacticite.
Yes.
I still know this, but I also know that this is not appropriate first date conversation. It tends to scare them off. They think I'm not interested. All right, guys. These are some dirty jokes. I hope you don't mind that I'm gonna make these, okay?
Let's do it.
Yeah. I had sex with an octopus last night. That guy had a ninth tentacle, if you know what I mean. Yeah, if guys had penises in the middle of their faces instead of noses, then sneezing would probably be a really big faux pas at parties. Right? Yeah.
Great.
If that was the case for me, I still wouldn't be able to touch the tip of my nose with my tongue or wiggle my ears. But that's really neither here nor there. Hey, get a load of this. That's what I say when I'm about to bust. Thank you. Yeah. Have you ever seen really boring pornography? It's like watching cum dry. I got head from a sock puppet the other night. It was terrible. She had cotton mouth. Yeah. Learning how to use a new shower is a lot like learning to pleasure a new woman. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of pieces, and you don't really know what you're doing. You're touching things, pulling things, pushing things, biting things if you get kind of, scared, until she finally gets fed up with your antics, takes your finger, and puts it in the shower's asshole to get the water running. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, let's see, what's next? Oh, yeah, sure. You guys like drugs? Yeah. Well, have you ever tried radical self-love and acceptance?
No!
It beats any drug that I've ever had, and good luck finding a dealer for it. For this one, you gotta be your own plug. But I can't get enough of it. I wake up in the morning, instead of a wake and bake, I try a morning meditation. Instead of drinking a nightcap before sleep, I try evening affirmations. Yeah, I'll take a key bump, if it's a key bump of fresh air to my lungs, to remind me that I'm living my one and only shining light. That's right. Yeah. Do you guys know that Buddha was a white dude? Not actually, I think he was like black or Chinese or something. But I mean metaphorically, you see his father was a king and the Buddha was a prince. And his father wanted him to inherit his vast kingdom, his company, if you will. And Buddha said, "I don't really want anything to do with that, man." And then he went under a tree and he thought about it for a while. And he came to the conclusion that, suffering lies in our desires, and by trying to quench the fires of our passions, we inadvertently create bigger and brighter bonfires. Or to put it more simply, yeah, I really don't want anything to do with that, man. So the next time you have a white guy friend who goes down the path of Buddhism and you wonder, why are they so susceptible? Just know that they are their target audience. And that's why. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a racist. But I kind of am concerned how mad I get at seeing those robot cars in San Francisco. I see one driving on my block and I say, "Get out of here, you damn tin can!" I see 3 in a line sitting at a traffic light and I think, damn, this place has gone downhill. I've got to move. I see bad things happen to them in the news, and I feel a glee that the robots are facing such difficulties in our society. What's wrong with me? I actually hate anything that's not human. Why would I care about it if I can't fuck it? You can't have sex with a monkey. Well, you can. It's not good. You're always thinking that she's just in it for the bananas. Yeah. Anyway, so my fridge has been on the fritz lately. It hasn't been working. I need to get it replaced. So I called up a fridge repairman that I found online. I said, hey, can you replace my fridge? And he said, yeah, and hung up. And then I went to the front door. The doorbell had rung. That's why I went. I opened it. There's a small man. And he said, I'm here about the fridge. And I said, I didn't give you my address. How did you find me? And he said, where is the fridge? And so we go to the kitchen together. And I'm looking at my fridge. This guy's looking at my fridge. It's a Samsung French door model with a freezer tray. Nothing too fancy. But I'm looking at it. He's looking at it. And then I realize he's looking at me. And he's looking at me. He's kind of shy. He looks like a kid whose mom is in the room when he's with his crush. He wants to be spent alone. This guy wants to spend time alone with my fridge, probably to replace it. So I say, oh, you crazy kids. I go dumpster dive behind the Taco Bell for an hour or so just to give him time. And I come on back. I have my couple of half-eaten Crunchwrap Supremes, and I come to the kitchen and I drop everything. There's a full-grown Doberman Pinscher chained to the wall where my fridge used to be. I said, excuse me? There's the fridge replacement man in the corner, smoking a cigarette in my kitchen. I said, excuse me? You replaced my fridge with a grown attack dog? And he said, yeah. And I said, and you're smoking in my kitchen? You're gonna set off the smoke detector. And he said, I replaced that too. And I looked where the smoke detector had been, and you know how when there's a no smoking sign, it's a red circle with a line through it with a cigarette to show you're not supposed to smoke? He had taken the smoke detector, and there was a green circle with a check mark, and it was a picture of him smoking a cigarette. He turned my kitchen into a smoking zone specifically for him. And I said, what the fuck, man? And he said, I'll take your payment now. And I did not tip that guy more than 20%. He leaves. There's a dog in my kitchen. I didn't know what to do. So I Googled how to get rid of a dog that you don't want to have anymore. And, as they say, there is more than one way to skin a cat. And thankfully, several methods to mutilate and dispose of a dog's body as well. Yeah. Tell you what, guys, this whole life thing of ours, this universe, I think it could have used a couple of focus groups. I think it could have gone through the review cycle a couple times. If I were in that room and I were asked, hey, what do you think of life in the universe? I would have said, hey, I didn't really enjoy stubbing my toe. The racism and bigotry also were pretty bad. Hate and ignorance, can we get rid of that? Could we have more fried plantains? Could we have more fried plantains for everybody? But nobody ever asked me anything. Anyway, life can be hard sometimes. I met a really cute guy up in the city, and I asked him out to dinner. And just as I was getting ready to go to the restaurant, he gives me a call and he says, hey John, I think we might have to cancel. Someone called in a bomb threat on the restaurant. So I ended up playing Monopoly alone and jerking off. Anyway, thanks guys.